everybody, I'm RedshipRory, and welcome to the 18th episode of Redship Survival Series. Before we begin, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to see more of my content. Now, in this episode, I'm going to try and get an iron farm working, but before we get into that, I'm going to do a bit of end busting. I had a live stream at 3 p.m. on June 6th, in which I cleared an end city and then died, and in my process of getting my stuff back, I found two more end cities to clear, so I'm going to do that before we get started with the iron farm. So, without further ado, let's get going. Also, before I forget, we have Discord now. Go check it out, link in the description. Start off with this city right here. Boom. Die, you fiends. That one teleported. Oh, that's where he went. Okay. Please drop something. He did drop something. Yay. And my inventory is full of junk, which I am just going to clear out. Dump out here. This is all the stuff that I got when I died, so I could bridge over to this location. So, alright, that's good. I'm gonna go and, keep going on this in this end city for a little while, and I'll give you progress updates. Gotta place these here so that this thing's like a full stair, because I don't want to fall down the sides of one of these and die. Okay, I am way at the top of, the second level of this thing, trying to defeat these stupid shulkers. It's taking a while, but, okay, this end city is cleared. I think there's, maybe one or two shulkers left, but I can't seem to find them. They're probably, on the outside of the building. I've got a couple endermen that are mad at me, but besides that, it's not too eventful. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Alright. Okay, so I'm at the location of the last, end city for the day before we call it quits and start moving on to the iron farm. So let's go. Lucky thing about this end city is that it's much larger. I mean, look at that right there. It's pretty neat. Alright, now it's time to go kill this little shulker here. Oh, oops. Got hit by... Unfortunately, this chest right here has nothing but gold junk in it, but I'll take the shovel and put all of my useful shulker shells that I've got. I've got enough for whatever 28 divided by 2 is. I don't feel like doing math now. So let's take this dude. There we go. Awesome. Alright, the city itself is cleared. Now, the last thing I need to do before we head back to the overworld is take out this end ship. So, we're going to start by firing rapidly, like that, at the two shulkers that are hanging around. Okay, they're both dead. Now let's bridge over to there. Okay, the two shulkers are dead, and now it is time for me to go adventure, like this, and go and fight off that one last shulker. Last shulker of the day, and I destroy your bullet, little guy. Open up. Open up. Come on. Ah, yes, dead. And I've got 7 shells so far. Okay, let's take the iron. Nah about the chest plate. Ooh. That has some nice stuff on it. I'll take that. And not that sword. Okay. And we now have a second elytra. How wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. So now let's fly back to the base, or the portal that leads us to the main part of the end. I don't know what that is. Okay, I found the little transportation portal, which is absolutely fantastic. It means we can head back to the end. Like this. No, let me through. It's not letting me pass through. It's weird. Huh. Alright, well, I'll give you a progress update once I finally manage to get through. Okie dokie, I'm here, and now it is time to head back to the overworld. Ah, there we go, fresh, and we are back at base. It's really laggy while everything loads up. But anyway, awesome. I'm gonna go collect the materials necessary to get an iron. Okay, so I just watched a video. I put a link in the description to it. It explained a lot of the iron farm mechanics, like villager mechanics and the spawning mechanics. It's a very good tutorial. It shows some designs for iron farms, but it also gives you enough information that you could design your own. Now, I am here in a creative testing world, and what I'm going to do is this right here, if I put a husk in that, will spawn an iron golem, and it'll go into that lava, and it'll get picked up by hoppers. I'm gonna experiment with a new design of that I was thinking of, so let's get cracking. Okay, to start off, we're going to have a killing chamber way down at the bottom. It is 19 blocks from where like the villagers and zombie on minecart is going to be. This is a little system that causes about 5 seconds delay on a minecart. The reason for that is because villagers take about 5 seconds to spawn a golem once they've been panicked, so this gives enough time for that to happen. And the reason this is 19 blocks up is because if Iron Golem is within 16 blocks of a villager, the villager will see it and not be able to spawn another golem for 30 seconds. And so getting them right out of the way so that they're killed outside of that 16 block radius means that everything will be fine and we can spawn Iron Golems much faster. So this works. Here, I'll show you it. See, I'm stopped for about 5 seconds, and for whatever reason it didn't allow me to keep going, but anyway, now that I've done this, it's time to create some little cells for the villagers to stay in. Okay, so I've made a one spawn area little contraption. This should work. Every 30 seconds, I'll hopefully be able to show you Iron Golem being spawned, but one did spawn and die. So we've got our little chambers here, and these are, I believe, geez, hold on, probably 11 blocks apart, these two. And most of this should fall within like an 8 block radius for an 8 block spawn radius, I believe. My math might be a little bit wrong, but I know that Iron Golems will spawn on this, and then they'll fall down here, and as soon as they fall off this ledge, they become 16 blocks away from the villagers, and they can't see them anymore, which means that'll start 30-second that'll start the 30-second countdown before they can spawn another Iron Golem. And look, it works. Now this needs to be risen up one more so that the Iron Golems can't climb on there, but for the most part this is a very successful design. I'm gonna have about 6 of these all placed several blocks apart. So I'm glad this works. Let's get rolling into a complete one of these. Okay, we've got 6 little spawn chambers, and this thing is mostly functional. There is 2 flaws that I've, as far as I know, there are 2 flaws. I need to have like one of those 5-second delays here and over there, and I also need the spawn platforms to be at least 13 blocks away from each other so that these villagers don't detect like the Iron Golems in this and in turn not spawn one of these here. That would immobilize at least this one and this one with this current design. I believe these 2 wouldn't work. And once we have the delay here and a delay here, everything that should give enough time for all of them to spawn 2 Iron Golems every time this passes by. So anyway, I'm not quite sure all of the resources needed to make this, but let's get started on this. Okay, I'm back at Redship Survival Series world, and now the first thing that I need to do is collect resources, and I'm going to start off with getting a ton of sand because this machine is going to use a lot of glass. Okay, I've got all the necessary materials to make all of the chambers. I've got a pair of chambers here where this is going to produce like 2 Iron Golems at a time. I'm going to have 6 more of these, 2 more that way placed 19 blocks apart, and then 3 more also placed 19 blocks apart over there. So I'm going to finish this. Let's get cracking. Okie dokie, all the cells are in place. Now what I need to do is I need to get the villagers in there. But before I can do that, I'm going to need like a ton of rails. I'm going to go see if I have any rails. If not, I'm going to go on a 1-hour mining session. Okay, so as it turns out, I have under a stack of rails, which means I need to go on a 1-hour mining session because I'm all out of iron. But, good news, I get to use my bulk transportation shulker boxes when I go mining to carry all of my items on me so that I don't have to put them in chests down there and have to ferry them to and from, which is going to save me a good bit of time. So, let's go on a 1-hour mining session. Okay, so luckily when I went down to the mine, I found that I had a bunch of chests full of ores that I didn't bring back up to the surface. So, I have iron. I didn't have to go on the mining session. So, now that I have some rails and some mine carts, let's get going on putting all the villagers in the in their cell. Okie dokie, I've got all the railings set up to start delivering the villagers into their cells. So here's a time lapse of me getting all the villagers in. Let's go. Okay, so almost all of the villagers are set up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some terraforming to kind of clear out the area underneath this farm so that it'll be easier for me to make the rest of the farm while I wait for the villager breeder to kick out some more villagers. So here we go. Time lapse. Okay, the area underneath the farm is clear, which means that it should be much easier to build the rest of this once I get to that point, but let's go check the villager breeder to see if there are any more villagers. Okie dokie, so it appears that I left this open and all the baby villagers ran out of the villager breeder, which means that I'm going to have to do a bit of AFKing here to see if we can get any more villagers. Here we go. Okie dokie, all of the villagers are in place, and I've got some resources. Now it's time to create the nice, long railway that the zombie is going to be traveling on. Okay, I got the first of 8 of these delay systems. What this does is it delays the minecart, stops it from moving for about 5 seconds. That's because it takes about 5 seconds for a panicked villager to produce an iron golem, and this slows down the zombie long enough so that it makes sure that an iron golem is produced. So I'm going to put in 8 of these. The reason it's not 6, just like we have 6 little, like, double pairs of villager cells, that's because I want to make sure that it's a little over 30 seconds, that like this whole loop, so that we make sure that every time the zombie passes the cells, it produces an iron golem. So I'm going to get finished on that. Let's go. Okie dokie, all of the railing is in place. I tested it. All of the 8 stops caused the minecart to stop. So now it's time to move on to the little platforms that the iron golems actually spawn on. Here, okie dokie, I've got the resources necessary to create some spawn chambers. Alright, let's get building. Okie dokie, the first of 6 spawn chambers are done. Now let's get rolling on the other 5. Okie dokie, all 12 spawn chambers are in place. Now it's time to create the 6 kill chambers. Alright, the first is done, all except for the lava, which will go over top of all the signs. Alright, let's make the other 5. Okie dokie, all of the kill chambers are mostly finished, now I just need to pour all the lava. Okie dokie, the lava is in the kill chambers. Now let's create the item transportation system to get all of the items into one place in the middle. Here we go. Okie dokie, the item transportation system works. I tested it. It all works. All 6 of the killing chambers, all the drops from that go straight to this hopper, and it gets put in the sorting system. Alright, now let's put the zombie in, last but not least. Okay, it works. We've got iron golems coming out. However, they're jumping on like the sides of the kill chamber instead of going inside them, so I need to put up a wall between the spawn chamber and the kill chamber. It shouldn't take too long, so let's get going on. Okay, the iron farm is finished. It all worked. While I was building up these little walls to keep them from climbing out, I mean, look, you can see them getting in there right now. Uh, it's been working for a little while, and let me show you. Look at how much iron we've got in just a short amount of time. This is working iron farm. I'm so happy we got this done. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This one had a lot of toil, but it was also a lot of fun to make, and it's very satisfying to have this farm that I put so much work into getting done and finally working. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.